here's how you 10x the Slackblast magic for your F3 region. If you have Slackblast installed, you just go to the Slackblast app, and then in the About area, you can see there's a set of commands that you can reference here. One of them is config Slackblast. It doesn't really matter where you do this, so I'll just do it in a DM to myself. I'll say /config Slackblast, and I'll send it as if I were going to send a message. That brings up a modal here. You could edit general settings, PAXminer settings, and much, much more. So I want to look at general settings here. And in my case, we don't really use the Strava integration, so I'm just going to disable it while I'm in here. This is also where you could go to edit the backblast Moleskine template and a preblast Moleskine template. So I'll submit those changes, but the focus of this video is really about PAXminer settings. And the big question here is to scrape or not to scrape. If you still have guys that are hesitant to jump on the Slackblast train and they're still doing their plain text backblasts, well, that's what scraping exists for. But in the future, we're no longer going to do plain text scraping because it introduces so much more room for error and it causes a maintenance overhead for those weasel shakers that are managing these tools. So I'm actually going to disable scraping for our entire region. And I'll leave all the reporting enabled, so I'm not highlighting channels for scraping or not scraping. I'm just doing it for the whole region at once. This is also a little signal to the F3 Nation tech admins, namely Moneyball and Tackle and others, that your region is more tech forward and they want to get the new version sooner. If that's not the case, then scrape away. Keep scraping that snow off your windshield and those Slackblasts off your Slack. But for F3 Muletown, we're going to go ahead and submit that change. And now anybody who's posting a plain text backblast, it's just not going to get caught. What they'll need to do instead is go to their relevant AO and type /slackblast, or really backblast. Either one should work. Then they hit send, and it'll bring up a similar modal. You've probably seen this before, but it's where you type in the name of your workout. I'll call this one Slacking on Slack. You could upload your boy band, pick the AO, workout date, queue, and if you have a code queue, good for you. I'm proud of you. Then you get some packs, including untaggable FNGs and 2.0s, or anybody who's just a little Slack hesitant, and maybe they're neither using Slackblast nor plain text, they're just not anywhere. Then you add in your Moleskine and voila, you can hit submit. It's a much easier way to do Slack blasting once you know how to do it. Kind of like the cat in the hat. It's fun to have fun, but you have to know how.
I know it is wet and the sun is not sunny, but we can have lots of good fun that is funny. It's fun to have fun, but you got to know how. Hairball.